Hello all. Today I'm going to be issuing my formal apology to the note-taking system known as Cornell Notes. When I was an 8th grader, and a 7th grader, and for most of my 9th grade and 10th grade years as well, I was forced to undergo some form of Cornell Notes for much of that time, and whenever I had to do Cornell Notes, I hated them. And I was not the only one either, especially in 8th grade. There were a lot of people in my class who felt much the same way. So I wrote an editorial about it in my 8th grade newspaper, which I'm going to read for you now. This is me reading directly from our 8th grade newspaper website, clahowyauniverse.weebly.com. The title of the article is Cornell Notes, a Rant. School is extremely magmatic in general, but there is one gargantuan problem. A problem that appears in most history classes and many other courses offered at Clahowya. A problem known to basically every single kid in the school as the dreaded. That's right, I am referring to, shudder, Cornell Notes. For some strange reason, the teachers adore them, so they are implemented at nearly every opportunity. As Robert Clifton put it so well, Cornell Notes. It's hard to describe how terrible they are. Cornell Notes are the bane of the school. They are the most foul, evil concept ever invented by a teacher. They should be immediately scrapped from the Clahowya curriculum and sent back to the void from whence they came. I speak not just for myself here, but for a significant portion of the student body as well. I couldn't have said it better myself. Cornell Notes may have worked for that adult course at Cornell University, but they don't work for us. Please note that we do have our reasons for abhorring Cornell Notes. Selina de Jong explains that they take up too much of class time and make note-taking more complicated, not less complicated. Selina is right. Cornell Notes are time-consuming, boring, and just plain annoying. So please join us in taking up the chant. Say no to Cornell Notes. And then below that, there is a mini poll. It says, join the pledge now, and there are two options. I say no to Cornell Notes, and I'm insane. So let's see what happens when we vote. Looks like we have 27 votes for I say no to Cornell Notes and 2 votes for I'm insane. Lovely. So that sounded like a rant, because it was. And that is how I felt about Cornell Notes at that time. But, as it turns out, the problem was not with Cornell Notes. The problem was with my understanding of the note-taking system. For those of you unfamiliar with the Cornell Technique, the way that it works is you split your paper in 3 parts. So at the very bottom, you section off a little section, like a fifth of the paper at the bottom, and that will be a space for you to write a summary later. With the rest of the paper, you split it into a smaller left column and a slightly larger right column. Now in the right-hand column on the top, you will write down your regular notes, just like you would for any class. You would take the notes in whatever technique you wanted. There are a lot of different ways in which you could take those notes. Most commonly, people use the outline style. And then later, you will go back, you will review these notes in the right-hand column, and in the left-hand column, you will write questions and titles just to help sort and organize your notes so you know where to find the most important things. Then, once you've done all that, you survey the paper again, and you write a 1 to 2 sentence summary. However, when I was in 8th grade, my understanding was you needed to first create the questions and titles in the left-hand side, and then write the notes to match and coincide with those questions and titles. This system did feel constraining. It did feel more boring. I didn't feel free to write down everything that I felt was important, and so naturally I hated it. And I believe that was the understanding of many of my friends as well. I've spoken with at least 1 or 2 of them about it, and it sounds like that generally was their understanding. Now that I understand how Cornell Notes actually work, I've started using them again. Not because I'm forced to, but because I want to. And I have to say, this system, done right, is outstanding. I love it. I plan on using it for virtually every class this year. And so I'd like to apologize to you, Cornell Notes, for misjudging you due to a lack of understanding. And to you, audience, I thank you for your time.